welcome to my channel. I'm trying my hand out at this vlogging thing. I've always felt that like it's a little bit awkward, but I guess it just takes a bit of getting used to. So we've come from a really cool place called Sunbird Resort. It's overlooking Lake Elementaita. So I just discovered this gorgeous place overlooking Lake Elementaita. It's called Sunbird. You can just come for a meal and yeah, check out the gorgeous views. So now this is kind of a walk down to a cliff, or rather up to the cliff where you can see the lake. And there's a lot of hyraxes around here. I think they're hiding now. They're probably a bit shy. It's the first time I've seen them. Gets a little steeper around here, but not too bad. Not too bad. Look at that. Jumbo! Sheila coming at you from Naivasha, one of the most beautiful parts of this country, Kenya. And yeah, it's just incredible. I've been discovering, or rather rediscovering, no, more like rediscovering Naivasha in the last few years because a friend of ours lives here now, so we get to come often and explore this place. It's a bit of a rocky road. We're heading now to a game reserve and I can't wait to see what's in there. But yeah, it's so incredible how in Naivasha you see wildlife everywhere you go. I'm just gonna pause for a moment because we've just got to a gate now where we have to wear our masks and get checked, get our temperatures checked. Yeah, we're entering Ranch House now. It's in Naivasha and you have to come through here to get a ticket to the game drive. Okay, so the plan was to go to this really nice game reserve that our friend was going to show us, but they're a little too pricey. They're charging 2,500 for entry, and we figured with all the parks around here, that's a little too high. So we're going to do something else, something chill. Maybe have a picnic, a few drinks by Lake Oloiden, which is just around the corner. So that's where we're headed now. We're heading to a campsite to just chill and have some drinks, and it's quite a dusty one. It's a really dusty road. Also, is it just me, or how many people like traveling without a plan? Like you just come up with the plans as you go. I like that kind of travel. It's really cool because you have no expectations. Yeah, so you have a good time either way. That's where we are now. It's so pretty, look at that. I've always thought like dead trees dried up on the lake look really, really beautiful and a bit ethereal, I guess. So there you go. It's really nice. The lake comes all the way down. It just ends at the grass. Looks like it's actually risen recently because you can see the structure that's submerged slightly in the water. Sounds like some people are swimming in there. Gosh, I don't know if I would go in this water. I know there's probably crocodiles and hippos in here. So this is just how beautiful Lake Oloiden. This is Oloiden, by the way. Tiny lake right next to Lake Naivasha. There's a bar there. It's underwater. Crazy, huh? Yeah, you can sit here, have a picnic. You can have a drink at the bar. I think you can come with your drinks, but usually you have to pay a fee to bring your own drinks. So yeah, this is it. Pretty chill. Cool, they have a charging station here. charge bar. Yeah, it's a nice little place. Right at the shores of the lake. Look at that, this monkey just chilling behind the seats there. Oh! Probably shouldn't get too close. Yep, hardly phased. Maybe I'm invading his privacy. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, it's just this big open field. You can come camping. I think some people just left last night. A curious scene I found along the way. This guy pumping a mattress. So we've just gone camping and thankfully we have this mattress with us. Oh my goodness, you guys will not believe how cute. I hope they stay. Just gonna chill here and video them. Just stay, come on. Don't go away. Oh. Heading back from Oloiden, or Oloiden, I don't know how you would say it correctly, but yeah, we've just left the campsite. It's really nice and quiet, not so busy today. I think there were only 3 other people besides the 4 of us. So yeah, it's really nice and quiet, but very, very serene, very pretty. Lots of monkeys, up to no good. We saw some really cute baby monkeys. Do you call them baby monkeys, by the way? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the infant monkeys. And it's really cute how they hold on to their moms. There was this one that was running underneath the mother, and then sometimes it would kind of go away a little bit and then just come really close. So they try to keep as close as possible to the moms as they can. Yeah, it's really, really cool to watch monkeys. There's a guy waving at us on the road. Friendly people in Naivasha. Yeah, it's a really beautiful town. I highly recommend it. Back to Nairobi. Naivasha has been so good. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of the place where we're at. It's got a really nice entrance with really big trees on the sides of the road. I have to admit, it actually looks nicer from the other side if you're coming in rather than going out. It's just this kind of grand entrance. So we're on the road, about to leave Naivasha, the land of hills and plains. You see quite a few hills around, but it also feels quite flat for the most part. Yeah, with this like savanna kind of vegetation and stuff. But it's really, really nice. It's so funny, I found out when I came here about 3 years ago that Naivasha is actually on very high altitude. It's about 2,086 meters above sea level. Yeah, that's quite high. I think that's probably why it's really, really cold in the evenings. I don't know how people vlog actually, because like holding the camera for this long takes quite a bit. I'm sure I'll learn some tricks as I go. Yeah. So I've always wanted to travel since I was a young kid, but interestingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, a lot of the places on my bucket list weren't really within the country or even so much within the region. I went to Tanzania and Uganda when I was a kid. It's like one of those school trips, church trips, that sort of thing. Yeah, but I think when I went there is when I realized, wow, traveling is really an interesting, fun experience. And I think a lot of people who want to travel, they think of going much further than where they are, instead of starting small, traveling within their neighborhood, within their city, within the country, and then slowly like expanding and going further and further. So recently I took a trip to Malawi. First it was a work trip, and then I ended up now going for social reasons. I met my now fiance there. But I realized, wow, there's so much to see just within our borders, just within our region, within the continent. So yeah, I've been really wanting to visit a lot of countries in Africa, especially. Some of the ones that are top on my list at the moment are Senegal, because of the arts, and I just think it's such a vibrant, interesting country to visit. I think it would be an interesting experience. I said interesting so many times. It would be a really cool experience though to see an African country that doesn't speak English as its primary language. I did a little bit of French right after high school, well, in high school and after high school, but I don't think it's good enough to easily communicate within a country. But I really think that kind of experience of, you know, struggling to communicate and trying to find other ways to say what you want to say is gonna be interesting. So Senegal is top on my list, along with Cape Verde. So these are two West African countries that I'm super interested in visiting. But I also want to go further south, because I only went to Malawi, and then when I was in Malawi one time I went to Zambia. I went to a national park in Zambia, but it was a really tiny part. I didn't make it to the city, so I don't think I saw that much of Zambia, but at least I can say I've been to two Southern African countries. And one that's huge on my list that's in Southern Africa is Namibia. I'd really love to go there. And one of the reasons why I'm thinking about this is because about 2 years ago, I wanted to travel abroad to Europe, and you know the process of applying for a visa and the waiting and all that stuff. So when I was waiting and thinking, am I gonna get a visa or not, I remember thinking, it's so crazy how hard it is to travel the world, especially with an African passport. And I started thinking, I wonder how many countries in Africa I can travel to easily without having to go through a really long process of applying for a visa prior to even travel, paying all the fees involved, and and you know, just not even knowing if you're going to be allowed in or not. And I found out, I think as a Kenyan, you can travel to about 43 countries. I'm going to check if that's changed. But it's so interesting to me that a lot of African countries lock each other out. So there's not so much travel within the continent by Africans. And I think that's a little bit sad, because if you look at examples like Europe, for example, you can travel to most countries without having to go through all these processes. It just makes life more interesting. People get to see what their neighbors are like. It also helps in smaller ways with, you know, reducing stereotypes and ideas like that, because the more people you meet, the more you learn about people, the more accepting I think you become as a human being. Yeah, so my plan this year, should I say this year? I think it's really hard now to plan to travel, especially, you know, with the whole pandemic situation going on and none of us knowing exactly when things will sort of go back to normal. Yeah, I think it's kind of tricky to imagine, but I have a couple of countries on my list, so I'm just gonna say them. It might happen, it might not, but my hope is to visit Belgium and also to visit some African countries. If I could go to Namibia this year, that would be really, really wonderful. Or Senegal, one of those two countries. It's weird that now Senegal is like on the top of my list in Western African countries to visit. Maybe it's just like my current interest, but I used to want to go to Cape Verde for the longest time. In fact, I had planned to, or I was hoping to go there and stay for about 6 months, just like a long stay where I can fully experience the country, the people, the culture, the music, the food, everything. Yeah, and I've always been interested in Portuguese as well, especially Creole versions of it. So that would have been a really cool way to learn the language as well. Yeah.